John Lynch says he has no doubt that Jimmy G will be their quarterback come September, so long as he's healthy. Lynch said, quote, "I believe things can happen, and I believe they will for him. I really believe that Jimmy G is our guy." LeVar Arrington, are you buying that the Niners are really going to stick with Jimmy G. Q. Garoppolo?
Well, I think it's well played, first and foremost, by John Lynch. The wordplay of that, it was very, very well thought out and well delivered. And I do believe they believe in what's his name, Jimmy Garoppolo? I believe they believe in Garoppolo. And the reason why I believe they believe in him is because he's proven that they should believe in him. And they've proven that they can't win without him. So unless you have a different alternative in terms of how you're going to move and who that's going to be for your team, you got to believe in having Jimmy Garoppolo. Now, I've seen all of the stuff going back and forth, and Jimmy Garoppolo finally came out and kind of leaked his own version of how he was feeling and how things have been discussed. He's been one of the most disrespected quarterbacks in the league. In some instances, maybe one of the most disrespected quarterbacks, in the sense that everybody talks about why Jimmy Garoppolo isn't the answer. Everybody talks about why you have to move on from Jimmy Garoppolo. These have been conversations that have really, really pushed on and have grown as time has moved on. Jimmy Garoppolo misses a pass in the Super Bowl. Everybody holds him accountable for it. But people don't talk about how Jimmy Garoppolo threw so well and played so well that they had a two possession lead against the Kansas City Chiefs. And with that defense being as good as it was, should have been able to hold up and been stout enough to deliver San Francisco another Super Bowl. So when I look at what Jimmy G has accomplished, the one thing that I really like and respect about Jimmy G is he accepts who he is. He doesn't want to be the biggest name player on the team. He just wants to be the quarterback of the team and play. He doesn't worry about if you see him around town with somebody who does film, in different industries. He just wants to go out and have a nice meal, get something to eat, have a nice drink while he's out with a nice, cloth napkin, not paper. I'm not mad at who Jimmy G is, and I believe if you get to know him, I've never met him, I'd like to meet him because I think he looks like a pretty cool dude. So I tend to look at Jimmy Garoppolo and say, if I'm knowing him, he's in my locker room, he's a part of my team, there's a reason why our team has success when he's playing. Yes, if he's healthy, we keep him. For certain.
Yeah, I'm buying it. They definitely are committed to Jimmy Garoppolo, but it does not mean that they aren't shopping, that
Indeed.
they aren't looking, that they aren't peeking outside their windows and their offices and that organization looking to see who they can possibly bring in to upgrade. When you talk to Kyle Shanahan and you talk to John Lynch, which I had the opportunity to do this season after calling 2 of their games, they like what Jimmy Garoppolo affords them. He's athletic. He can make every throw on the football field, but the best ability is availability. He's just not healthy. We haven't seen him. The number one thing that you have to be in this game is healthy and available, and he hasn't been that. So when you have a quarterback that hasn't, yes, has he won, but it hasn't been in fashions of what we're accustomed to seeing quarterbacks do in this era, in this style of NFL that we're seeing, which is passing league first. It's been at the hand of the scheme, running the ball, getting guys completely wide open and scheming them. That's what Kyle Shanahan prides himself on doing. And so Jimmy Garoppolo, we put attention to it, that pass that he missed, Emmanuel Sanders, you got to make that throw. In this offense, you have to make that throw. And he hasn't proven that he can be healthy and make those throws consistently enough to where they completely shut the door on looking to upgrade. And that's why I believe that they are committed to him only if they cannot upgrade him. But you said this at the beginning of your statement, LeVar. This is great wordplay. This is John Lynch doing what a good GM should be doing. He's ensuring that, look, Jimmy, you're our guy. But we're going to always evaluate. Mm-hmm. That's the name of the game. We're going to always continue to evaluate and try to upgrade not just the guys around you, but even you if the guys around you need an upgrade at your position. And so that's the competitive nature of this league. John Lynch has played in it for years. Kyle Shanahan has coached some really great quarterbacks. He knows what he's looking for. Jimmy Garoppolo can get it done, but if they can upgrade, you better believe that they will.
But here's the thing. This is the time to upgrade. Isn't a guy named Deshaun Watson out there? Why have, and maybe, you know, they're doing it under wraps and we don't know what's going on, but they don't seem to be a player in the Deshaun Watson sweepstakes. And
can I say
they
something really quick,
be.
Chris?
He's better. Yeah.
Let me say this. When we talk about Deshaun Watson, he would be a great fit, but if you're having to give up so much, that's not what they're all about. They've established that defense, like giving up Nick Bosa and whatever that would be required to get and obtain Deshaun Watson.
I heard
it's
Nick
not really
Bosa,
worth it. If they feel like if they're healthy, they can continue to win.
First round picks, Garoppolo, Bosa was things that I heard on the rumor mill. They would have to give up a lot. I'm with you on that one, Greg.
Go ahead, Chris. I'm sorry for interrupting.
Yeah, I mean, I'd hate to give up Bosa, but look, I think that, to your point, LeVar, Jimmy Garoppolo has been disrespected to the nth degree. And I know he's not Deshaun Watson. He's not Pat Mahomes. He's not Aaron Rodgers. But people talk about Jimmy Garoppolo like he's Drew Lock or something. I mean, Jimmy Garoppolo has proven that he's a winner. Mm-hmm. He has. Since he's been in San Francisco, they're 22-8 in the regular season. When he's out, they're 7-19.
That's right.
Now, you got the same defense, the same running game, the same Kyle Shanahan there when Garoppolo's not there, but they can't win.
So you can't say it's all scheme?
This guy is a winner. And it can't be all scheme because when he's not there, they don't win.
You're right, Chris.
And obviously, the 1 year he was fully healthy, he got them to a Super Bowl. Now, again, I understand the warts and all that, but I'm just saying they have not done well without Jimmy Garoppolo, and when he steps in, they do great. Do we remember what they were before he got there?
Bad.
They were 1-10. Yeah. And he wins 5 straight games at the end of the season when you know the guys weren't into it, and he gets them up. Now, I agree, he's got to stay healthy, and that's the biggest problem with him.
That's the only
is he's not healthy. Yeah. He's not a perfect pass. But, Greg, the Emmanuel Sanders pass, I get it. He missed it. But, my goodness, we act like he's the only quarterback that's ever missed on a post pattern or fly pattern or whatever it was. Like, I mean, it happens. And he wasn't the only guy that cost them that Super Bowl.
I don't want to be the only guy.
They were running the ball fairly well. They ran it great all postseason. They should have ran the ball, kept running the ball.
Somebody needs to play devil's advocate, Chris, okay? Let me just lay it out. Jimmy Garoppolo's 29 years old, LeVar. Yep. He's played more than 6 games in a season once. So that's not a good sign. That doesn't mean he's going to keep getting hurt, but once he's played more than 6 games. And you guys keep talking about disrespect. Greg, I know you watched that NFC Championship game, Packers, 49ers. Is it disrespect when you ask your quarterback to throw the ball 8 times, or is it we don't trust him as much as we do my offense, i.e. the running game? He was 6 for 8 in the NFC Championship game. To me, that's a franchise that doesn't totally trust their quarterback. Maybe you could say it was just playing to Green Bay's weaknesses, fine. But there are, I think, more questions than answers with Jimmy G. And this is kind of like one of those relationship deals. You want to move in with the girl, but you don't want to put the ring on it. You're living together, but maybe you're looking around, a little bit of a wandering eye. It's clear they're not ready to put a ring on Jimmy Garoppolo and make him the long-term decision. Maybe it is Deshaun Watson. Maybe it's Sam Darnold, a cheaper alternative. But, Greg, I think it would be silly of us to sit here and say,
well, you
Jimmy G's the guy.
With the Sam Darnold?
Listen, he's available. He's cheaper, and we haven't seen the best of Darnold.
No, I don't think it's completely silly for us to say that Jimmy Garoppolo is the guy, because if they are not able or unwilling to come to terms to grab a Deshaun Watson, and we're making it seem like it's easy. It is not as easy as just go get him. Well, if you go get him, that means what you have, you will no longer have. And so how that changes the landscape of what you've created, what you've built as a recruiter, as a draft guru that they've drafted very well, both on the offensive side of the ball and defensively. And so you would have to start to break that down for one position when you know that we can still win with what we have if we have to play with it, if we have the health. Like, we act like all those wins that Jimmy Garoppolo has afforded them has come at the hand of their team just not being healthy. Like, when this season, their Rolodex of guys that were on IR and out of the games was unbelievable.
Yeah, it was
a Pro Bowl like list. Like, everybody that you could think of on their team that is of mentioning was out at some point this season. There was no one that was really constant. Even Fred Warner, one of the great linebackers, like, everybody was out at some point. And so when you have things like that you have to overcome, yes, we can sit here and say and act like, yes, Jimmy Garoppolo has won when he's in. Yeah, but when he hasn't been in, neither has so many other guys, which we got to put that into the equation as well and stop acting like it was just Jimmy. I'm not trying to just throw shade at Jimmy.
That is a little